My leadership style has always been a servant leadership style. I get a lot of fulfillment out of seeing my leaders grow.
Welcome to Get Unstuck and On Target, the weekly podcast that offers senior leaders insights and strategies to not only lead with confidence and vision, but also to achieve groundbreaking results. I'm your host, Mike O'Neill. I coach top-level executives on the power of ethical leadership to forge teams to be as united as they are effective. In each episode, join me for insightful conversations with leaders just like you, providing practical advice to help you get unstuck and propel you and your company forward. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Get Unstuck and On Target. I'm Mike O'Neill, an executive coach who's passionate about helping leaders inspire teams, drive results, and make lasting impacts. On today's episode, I sit down with Julie Tilenius, the President of TrueSource. Julie's career journey is fascinating, a progression through finance, e-commerce, and sales operations that has shaped her into an exceptional leader. We dive into a topic close to my heart as a coach, empowerment. Julie shares how empowering her team to make quick, confident decisions has not only driven speed and quality in emergency situations, but also has built trust, loyalty, and growth across her organization. Whether you're leading a team or aspiring to, this conversation is packed with practical insights to elevate your leadership style. Let's jump in. Joining me today is Julie Tilenius. Since July 23, Julie has served as the President of TrueSource, an on-point group company. With 25 years at MSC Industrial Supply, where she excelled in leadership roles like financial planning, e-commerce, and sales operations, Julie has built a reputation of driving innovation and achieving results. Today, she joins me to explore the power of empowerment and how leaders can create growth by inspiring transformation. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you, Mike. It is such a pleasure to be here with you today.
Now, as part of full disclosure, I've had opportunity to do some work with Julie's company. So that's how I first met Julie. But TrueSource, can you, as a starting point, tell us a little bit about your company?
Sure. TrueSource is a facility maintenance service company. And we service retail storefronts in end markets such as consumer staples, big box, consumer essentials, and discount retailers, premium retailers. And we provide services in skilled trades such as break fix work for doors, docks, glass, fence gates, locks. Our customers come to us in emergency situations. About 30% of our work orders come to us because our customers are in an emergency and they need their assets fixed in order to secure their stores. So speed and quality are really key to our overall service to our customers and really what separates us from our competition.
So when the phone rings, I guess that's how you are made aware, email or the like, and they say, help, we're in a bind. You describe it almost as an emergency situation. What is it about dealing with, quote, emergencies that makes TrueSource better than perhaps your competition?
So TrueSource has spent a lot of time focused on building strong affiliate partnerships and relationships. So when our customers call us, we need to dispatch a technician. We don't have in-house technicians. We outsource that to an affiliate network. So the partnerships that we have built over the years is really what separates us from our competition. We know who the right affiliate is to go out there to get the break fix done right the first time in order to remedy our customer situation. So it's, we know who to dispatch. In addition, it's our speed, our response time, our speed, our overall lead time to get the job fixed.
If the nature of the work is always kind of emergency, if you would. How do you, as president, and the leadership team you have in place, how do you kind of ready the organization so that they're always kind of at the ready?
So we are at the ready 24/7. So we are a 24/7 operation. And we have a team of skilled customer service reps, again, who are very familiar with our customer. Our customer relationships go back 25 years. So their knowledge base, I'll call it the tribal knowledge that they have, allows them to react and to know what the next step in the process is. Again, who to call to get the job done. Um, but in addition, I think what separates TrueSource is that we empower our team to make really good business decisions. So when our customer service reps have to move fast on their feet in order to remedy our customer situation, they're empowered to do so. If they have to send a technician into a market that may be a little farther than where that technician's boundaries are, it's okay. They have the authority to do it rather than to hold up the entire process, because speed and quality is really what is critical.
Do you attribute the ability to be fast and high quality to the empowerment that y'all do?
I think the speed absolutely is due to the empowerment. Um, Quality as well, but we do a lot of other things to ensure quality. For example, being we outsource the break fix work to our affiliate network, we hold that affiliate network to a very high level of accountability around KPIs. So understanding our customer service level expectations, it's important that we're measuring the performance of our affiliates to ensure that they're living up to our customer service level expectations. So I think quality is the entire organization, right? Understands the importance of delivering quality service.
When we're chatting, trying to decide what might be the topic that you keyed in on, I heard you use the word empowerment several times. And that's why I suggest let's use that as the main theme of this conversation. What is it about empowerment? You have extensive leadership experience. How has empowerment factored into how you have become a senior leader?
So I would say, my leadership style has always been a servant leadership style. And with that comes, a lot of collaboration and communication with the team and really being very empathetic, right, to their needs. Um, I get a lot of fulfillment out of seeing my leaders grow and live up to their highest potential. So by empowering my team and my leaders, um, the company strives because the motivation level escalates, and they all feel as if they really are making a difference. So I would say that me bringing empowerment into my leadership style has enabled me to build trust and loyalty with my leaders over the years. And honestly, it really does drive results. You have a motivated team who trusts you, you keep open lines of communication, and you're all aligned. It does drive positive results.
Can we go back to a little bit on your career progression? I understand you started off in an auditor role, and I, in the introduction, described financial planning, e-commerce, sales operations. That's a really interesting progression. Walk us through kind of how did that all unfold?
So I'll take you back to the very beginning, actually. My father was an accountant. So that's where I became interested in finance or accounting. And right out of college, I was able to get a job with KPMG, which was one of the big six accounting firms back then, as an auditor. So I was there for a few years, and there was a life event that happened. I lost my mom at a young age, and I felt like I wanted to become or be be a part of a company and more stable, right? Because at KPMG, I was bouncing around from client to client. So I happened to find an opportunity at MSC Industrial. It was a small company back then, $175 million. And I just joined them as a financial analyst. I had that background working for KPMG. And little did I know that this was the first step of an amazing journey for me, because the company a few years later wound up going public. And with that came tremendous job opportunity and career progression. So I wore many hats at MSC. I got to see the business from end to end in, various roles, acquisition roles, finance roles, e-commerce roles, sales operations role. So it really well-rounded my overall aptitude, I guess, as a leader, in addition to just well-rounding my business acumen. So it was a great experience, really was.
Well, you've parlayed that experience into your current degree of responsibility. It has kind of formed you. You described that the organization kind of grew. I did not introduce how big MSC has grown into, but it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise now, is it not?
Yes. Now it's multi-billion.
That being said, you can draw from lots of experience. As you kind of look back on the things that you learned along the way, what are the things that immediately just kind of pop in your head as, when I have the opportunity to be a key leader, this is how I want to lead?
Yeah, what I'd say is, being in mostly a male-dominated industry for a long, long time, I I needed to build my confidence up. I mean, I was sitting around the table. I was probably the only woman in many, many meetings, and building confidence and speaking up when I thought I had value to add was so important in order for me to be respected as a leader.
Hmm.
So, gaining that respect over the years, right? I would sit back and listen, and I would sit back and learn. And when I knew I had value to add, I would speak up. And I wasn't very comfortable speaking up a lot of times, but I did because I knew I had value to add. So I think just really building your confidence over time, um, and looking at the team around you and who's supporting you. You don't have to know all the answers. Who you surround yourself with, right, is really important and really critical to your overall leadership. You need to be able to trust in your leaders, empower your leaders. They're the subject matter experts in a lot of areas. So rely on them, right, and work together in order to achieve your goals.
So, Julie, you described surround yourself with people that have skills perhaps you do not. But what qualities do you look for in the leaders you surround yourself with?
So I look for leaders who are strong communicators,
Hmm.
number one, because keeping the open lines of communication is very important to stay aligned. I look for leaders who have a similar style. I think that I did over the years with that servant leadership style, more collaborative type of style. Somebody who is in tune to emotional intelligence and will know how to motivate their teams. What works for one person might not work for the next person, and knowing how to adjust their approach when they are working with their teams.
You're describing the type of people you want to surround yourself with, both temperament and skills. I like to go back to the nature of some of the work that y'all do, emergencies. Sometimes, at least when I see emergencies arise, people change because it's an emergency. There's this sense of we've got to get done fast, and therefore the way we would like to do it may not get done. What has been your observations? How do you instill quick response, high quality response, but stay true to who you all are?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mike. We don't ever want to sacrifice quality for speed. So it really is striking that right balance. And I think when we get things wrong, we need to learn from our mistakes. We have had a continuous improvement philosophy that we have now embedded in our culture. So it is always about how can we improve? How can we remove the bottlenecks in our process, getting to the root cause of some of these bottlenecks. So, I think just keeping that top of mind is really what gets us the results.
I don't think I've ever asked this question before, but I think you know the name of our business is Bench Builders. It's a sports reference. And I find myself sometimes watching people watching sports, particularly former athletes. And I'm wondering, what position are they looking at predominantly? And more often than not, they're watching the position that they played. If nothing else, that's a degree of familiarity. You have played multiple positions from finance to e-commerce to sales. What is your default area that just comes natural to you as president?
I'll be honest, what I love the most and what comes most natural to me is just my collaboration with others. I enjoy it. I enjoy working as part of a team. Um, Titles don't really mean anything to me. Honestly, sitting here as president, it just doesn't. Let's get in a room together and let's work together in order to, hit our goals and objectives and have fun while you're doing it. So I just love the interaction and the people aspect of what I do.
Gotcha. Juliet, reflect on your career thus far. Can you share an example where either you or perhaps a client got stuck? And when that happened, what did it take to get unstuck?
So I guess let me use a client example because it really will help resonate what TrueSource does and the value we bring to the marketplace. So let's say we have a restaurant owner who is looking to close their doors now. It's 11 o'clock p.m. and they're locking up for the night and they can't close the door. They can't lock the door. And now this person is actually, stuck at the restaurant, cannot leave because they need to secure the facility. So what do? They call TrueSource. So our after hours team immediately reacts, dispatches a technician to send out there within, an hour, 2 hours, however quickly we can get that technician out there. The technician fixes the door or the lock, and now the owner doesn't have to sleep at the restaurant anymore because the facility is secure. So that's how we get our clients from a stuck position to an unstuck position. And we value their business and their reliance on us to get the job done.
Julie, this is not a scripted conversation. Not sure where it's going to go. But what might be some things that you would like to share with listeners that maybe we haven't touched on yet?
I would say that, look, you think in life that there's this direct path as to where your career journey is going to go. And sometimes it doesn't happen that way. So I would say be open to change. Don't be afraid of change. Be open to change. It's all a learning experience. And if you're not learning, you're not growing.
Julie, how do you personally choose to continue learning?
Online learnings. There's so much on the internet now. Trying to get up to speed on artificial intelligence and taking some webinars around artificial intelligence and how it's going to change my business going forward. And just speaking with others, networking groups, seminars.
I know that you are also an active in some associations, logistics associations. Matter of fact, you've been recognized for the contributions you have made to the industry. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
Hey,
it was an honor actually to participate in those interviews.
what are you most excited about as terms of the future for your own organization?
I'm excited about our growth opportunity. This industry is very fragmented, and we have very small percentage of share. And I feel that we are really on the path to separate ourselves from our competition. And so that excites me. I mean, just the growth opportunity ahead of us. And for my team, I'm excited for my team because it's going to open up a lot of new positions over the next few years for them to be able to grow their career.
You made an interesting point there, Julie, and that is with growth, you add people, but in doing so, you may add opportunities. And what I read into your comment is it may present new opportunities for the existing team to do things they might not be able to do otherwise.
Yeah, and if you think back, that's kind of how I got to where I am today, right? My path was not at all what I had expected it to be. I thought it, was just going to be linear rather than curves and turns. And so exactly, it'll open up opportunities for the existing team and others.
You mentioned earlier in the conversation that your father was an accountant. You kind of went that route. You went to work for a large accounting firm. And that linear progression probably would have stayed on that path. It sounds as if some of the things that happened were planned, some of them were not planned. But what would you attribute to how you're able to kind of stay on course and continue to progress and learn?
You just think it's innate sometimes.
Mm.
In myself and in you as a person, that you want to continue to grow.
As we begin kind of wrapping up this conversation, if you were to kind of share a final thought or an insight, what might be some actions or thought-provoking things that you could share that would help our listeners perhaps on their own leadership journey?
I think it gets back to what I said earlier. Don't be afraid of that change. My slogan is, you need to always be comfortably uncomfortable
Mm.
in order to continue to progress, continue to learn through others, through resources that are available to you. And it's just a natural progression over time.
Julie, before we close, I do have a question for the leaders who are listening. And that is, why do people choose to follow your lead? Is it out of obligation or because they believe in your vision? Empowerment, that which we've been talking about, it starts with clarity, confidence, and resilience. And as an executive coach, I help leaders build these strengths to inspire their teams and drive real results. At Bench Builders, our mission is to transform good leaders into great ones with practical strategies that deliver lasting results. So I invite you, visit bench-builders.com to learn how we can help elevate your leadership. Julie, thank you for sharing such valuable insights today.
Thank you, Mike. It was really a pleasure. I appreciate it.
If listeners want to connect or learn more about your work, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Probably through LinkedIn.
Okay. So we'll put your LinkedIn profile in the show notes so they can reach out. Excellent. Again, thank you. And I also want to give a big thank out to the subscribers for tuning in. And I hope today's conversation provided you with some fresh ideas and inspiration to help you get unstuck and on target. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Get Unstuck and On Target. I hope you've gained insights to help you lead with confidence and drive your organization forward. Remember, at Bench Builders, we're committed to your success, your leadership excellence, and your strategic growth. If you've enjoyed our conversation today, please leave a review, rate, and subscribe to keep up with our latest episodes. This show really grows when listeners like you share it with others. Who do you know who needs to hear what we talked about today? Until next time, I encourage you to stay focused on the target and continue to break new ground on your leadership path.